All right, so we're back out here on this thing. I've been kind of cleaning up a little bit, getting ready to work on it. Check this out. You can actually see my workbench for the first time in I don't know when. So yeah, that was long overdue. But where we left off, we did the corners down here and this little front patch in the last video, so we still got to do all of that. And then this little spot here. So, and I got to figure out, I got to decide what I'm going to do. I hate to just cut up this whole, I think it's over here, yeah, that whole pan there just for that one little section, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do, I guess. But I am slowly losing patience with all this metal work, so I've got to hurry up and get it done because my motivation to keep chugging along on it is dwindling. That's not a good thing. So, you know, we got to hurry up and get this knocked out and move on to something else. So, but yeah, this thing is just awful. Awful. I made a comment, I posted on something the other day, talking about having the worst GTO on the internet. And I was very quickly corrected that I do not have the worst one. They pointed out that Pole Bar and Garage and his Holy Goat is the worst one on the internet. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go check out Pole Bar and Garage and his Holy Goat. It is a 70 GTO that, best I remember, it was like out in a field and people used it for target practice for God knows how long. And it's got thousands of bullet holes in it. So he drug it out, made it run and drive, and is driving it just like that. Like with all, I mean, like, and I want to say he had to like jack up the roof, and oh, it was bad. Like the doors are held together with like those little slide latches that you use on like doors, like house doors, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's rough. It is rough. So I do not have, I misspoke, I do not have the worst 70 GTO on the internet, but it's pretty damn bad. It is pretty bad. My son was down yesterday, and this is the first time he has seen it in person. You know, he's just seen it on, you know, in my videos and stuff, and that's what he was like, good Lord, Dad, that thing's rough. It's like, yeah, well, you know, it's rough, but it's still gonna be cool when we get it running and driving. So I'm gonna get everything kind of ready to start. Like I said, I haven't decided exactly where I'm gonna start yet, but we just got to start doing it. So let me get everything kind of set up and ready, and we'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm thinking about trying something different this time. I'm going to use a bigger piece than I did over there, and I'm going to try to use it all up on the flat part of the top, so I'm not trying to fit all these weird contours. But I cut out most of it. I said I cut out. This thing just does not fit well. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to do some figuring before I really get to cutting on this thing. But yeah, it's just, how dang these things don't fit right. But I trimmed quite a bit off of, you know, the edges to try to get it to fit in there, and kind of notched that around the rear seat thing and the console bolts. And I got the seat bracket cut right there. That was a nightmare. But yeah, you can see like it doesn't fit good. I mean, I think I can make it fit, but I'm just gonna have to think about it for a minute and before I start really cutting. And because if I use this much of it and I screw my cuts up, you know, I'm just, if I cut too much out, you know, before I just used a smaller piece, so if I screwed my cuts up, I could, you know, add to it, but there ain't gonna be no adding to this one. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know, I'm gonna have to just think about it for a minute. I was just trying to save myself from having to cut along all these, you know, dips and valleys and humps and stuff, trying to make it more of a straight cut and straight weld. But so far it is not wanting to cooperate. But I am gonna try to get it placed in there as square as I can, and then screw it to the brace, and maybe try to try to screw it as far back first and push it that way first, and then screw it to the brace, and then kind of mark, you know, where I'm going to cut it. And I got a new little body saw that I think will make a smaller cut. I tried it out a little bit while ago. I don't know how good that's going to work, but the bad thing about that also is that, you know, I've got another brace that runs right through here, and getting those spot welds out and getting everything cut out precision like is hard. That's why I kind of avoided it over there, which I may wind up still doing that, and just have, you know, this side will be kind of a pain in the butt. But I really want to try to stay up on top of the transmission hump and on top of the rear seat shelf thing and along the top of the rocker. But I mean, that thing just, I don't know why that thing ain't sitting down like it's supposed to. Oh, well, maybe because I haven't ground all the damn spot welds off the brace yet. So hopefully that'll help it sit down in there a little better. But I don't know. I think I'm gonna go eat some lunch and think about it for a minute. Alright, so I kind of got the cut here in the front where I wanted. I went ahead and just cut it straight and popped out the spot welds on that brace instead of doing it like I did that one over there. That'll give me a little more bracing too. I think it'll make it a little easier. I've got everything kind of halfway marked where it's going to sit. It kind of fits a little better now. I'm going to have to, I got to figure out how I'm going to do around this hole for the seat belt. I may just notch this out around that hole, and then I'm going to have to do the same thing here. But I think what I'm going to do is just cut this all out, and then I can drill it from the back side once I get the drive shaft and everything out of the way, because it still has the transmission in it, and I can just drill that hole from the other side and then cut it out. So I may do that. So I got a few more spot welds I'll have to take out of this brace. I went ahead and put some primer on it. It's supposed to be weldable primer, just to kind of protect it a little bit. But I think, like I said, this cut's pretty good. I've already set it down in there once and it matches up pretty good, except for I may have to do a little trimming like right there. And I do think I'm going to try that little body saw if I got enough room under here before that, because the blade ain't very long. I know it'll work over there because there's nothing under except for where the brace is. I'll have to cut around where the brace is, and then I'm going to try to use that body saw to make a hopefully a more precision cut, and I really hope that this piece fits a lot better than all these others that I've done so far, because it just makes it easier for me to weld when everything fits right. I can't weld up big old gaps, which I've got so much I gotta go back and redo on that side over there, and it's just, oh, it's so bad. So I'm really trying to take my time on this one, and you know, trying to make it as easy on myself as I can. That's why, like I said, that's why I'm using a bigger piece and trying to cut on the flat parts of it instead of down in all the dips and stuff. So I'm hoping that that all kind of works out, but I'm gonna give this primer a few minutes to dry and kind of come up with a game plan on how I'm gonna cut the rest of it out, and then kind of just keep going at it. I really want to get that panel tacked in today, hopefully. Of course, I know I've said it on every video of everything that I've done as far as rust repair on it. This stuff just takes me forever. Like, you know, I come out early this morning and have been out here all day, and I'm not even close to being tacked in. So, but I really want to get it, you know, at least set in there and tacked in a few places today. If I don't get to this little spot or that spot there in the front, that's not that big a deal. I don't know, I may wind up using more of that patch than just, you know, it is pretty, it's not, you know, like soft, but it's, you know, crusty. So I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. It just depends on how industrious I feel after I get this other piece in here. But like I said, I really just got to think about this for a minute, how I want to cut around those holes for the seat belts and stuff. I'm not really sure how I'm gonna do that yet, but I only popped up one side of the bracket for the console, that way everything is still going to be where it's supposed to be. And then I think those are the holes for the shifter, so I haven't disturbed those. So I'm really hoping that everything kind of just falls back into place when we start putting this car together, I hope. But, you know, y'all been watching me and know that nothing ever goes the way I want it to. Never, ever, ever, never. So why would it start now? But anyway, like I said, we're going to give this primer a little bit to dry while I come up with a game plan on how to finish this thing. Alright, I got this side right here fitting like I want it, and I got all this fitting pretty good up to about right there. So I'm gonna go ahead, I don't know if I'm gonna tack it, maybe just a couple little tacks, and then try to cut the rest of that out. And then I may just pull everything off, because I don't know if all the little pieces are gonna fall out once I cut them. I tried to cut it back as far as I could before I put this piece down, so hopefully it would all, once I cut it, it would just kind of drop out. But it has not been working that way for me, so I don't know. I did get a little bit of a gap right there, but I think I can push it in and get it close enough. But everything else is fitting pretty decent. I'll have to kind of hammer it down once I start tacking it. But yeah, so far so good. My little body saw works pretty good in certain places, but most of it I just keep doing with the cutoff wheel, the wheel of death. So, but yeah, we're getting there. So far it's fitting better than everything else has, but you know, I still got a lot of cutting to do, so I got plenty of time to mess it up, but we shall see. I did go ahead and drill out holes for my spot welds once I get it, you know, kind of, you know, the perimeter done. I'll go back and do that, because I gotta do all those too when I go in and finish welding everything. But yeah, man, I love metalwork. It's my favorite thing. I got a little pro tip for you. When you have holes in the fingers of your gloves, do not grab a hold of hot shit. I burnt the hell out of my finger. God dang it. Ugh. Ugh. I hate metalwork. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Alright, so I got the front cut. I've got this side cut and fitting really good. This side fits pretty good. I mean, the cuts are fine, but some of the contours of the new pan are a little different. But I think what I'm going to do is go ahead and start tacking it on these 3 sides and kind of getting all that fitting like I want it before I cut the back. That way, you know, it's where it's going to be when I make my final cut. Because I think that's where I get screwed up. I think, oh, this all fits good, and then I start cutting it, and then when everything kind of sets down, then I got a, you know, a gap you can stick your finger through. So everything is really damn close right now, so I think I'm going to do my best to not screw it up this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and start throwing a few tacks on it and see what happens. Wish me luck. All right, so it's really turning out pretty good. Like, that up there is nice and tight and got it tacked in. I got this side done, and my cuts back here, once I push it in a little bit, or, you know, my gap is really good. But I got to still do something with this corner right here. My big cutoff wheel, I can't get in there. But yeah, it's really, I'm really surprised. It's turning out way better than I had anticipated. But one of my videos would not be complete without some type of screw up. So while I was cutting the back part, I cut my air hose in half, and I don't have the fittings to fix it, and I need that to finish this little corner here, to either use that little air saw or a smaller, my little die grinder, where I can kind of get that little radius right there. So yeah, it's always something. I always got to screw at least one thing up, you know what I mean? Like, I can't have success without some type of failure. But I'm really happy with how this one is turning out. All my gaps are pretty good. It's making it a lot easier for me to weld. I do need to get my little sander and kind of scuff that part up before I start tacking it anyway. I kind of went around all this side and just a little bit so my welds would hold a little better. But yeah, I kind of wish I'd have did that side the way I did this side now. But oh, my light's going out. Yeah, that's how long I've been out here. I have charged that thing. It was fully charged when I first started this morning, and then it's already went out once, and I charged it again, and now it's dead again. Like, so yeah, I've been out here all day working on this thing. So, but we're getting close to having the floor pans not done, but at least, you know, all tacked in. I'm really wanting to get everything in and tacked, and where all I got to do is I can just spend a day out here one day, finish welding everything, grinding it all down. I'll, you know, put a little, like I said, I got some of that fiberglass reinforced filler. I'll fill it all, you know, kind of smooth it all in, and then we'll coat it all with something, and then hopefully be done with the floor pans. And then this is a never-ending rust repair project. I mean, once we get the floor pans done, we got to do the trunk pan, and of course all around the back glass. And then I do think I'll do something with this rear quarter, but that's probably going to be it on the rest of the body other than around the back glass. I think this side's still decent enough for what we're doing, you know. And then, like I said, I'll either probably replace the trunk lid and the hood, but who knows? I don't know what I'm going to do yet. I don't know if y'all are getting tired of watching me do all this rust repair, so I don't know if the next video may be something different. I did get all my stuff for the front end of this car. I got a new steering box, new control arm, shocks, all that stuff, so we might do that in the next video. I don't know, it just depends. But I'm going to keep trying to fix. Surely I've got a fitting where I can fix this air hose, because I really want to get this whole thing tacked in today. I don't want to stop, so I'm gonna have to figure out some way to cut this corner out, and then yeah, we'll have this whole side tacked in, and then I will decide what I'm gonna do there, and then we'll do this little spot right there. But anyway, bear with me. I forgot I had another air hose, so I was able to get this corner cut out. I'm really happy with it. It's turned out really well. I've got the whole perimeter tacked in. My gaps are really good everywhere. I mean, I don't have any spots that, you know, I'm worried about like the rest of it, you know. I really wish the rest of it would have turned out as good as this side has, but you know, one little spot right there where it's a little thin, I'm gonna have to cut out just a little square, which I'll have to do that over there too. Definitely didn't get as far as I wanted to again today. That seems to be a reoccurring theme with me, but you know, I'm just kind of learning as I go, so it's just taking me a while, but I do feel good that pretty much all the floor pans are tacked in. I still got to do a little spot around that drain plug. That'll be next, and then we'll pretty much have the, other than finish welding it, we'll pretty much have all of that done. And yeah, it's definitely been a learning experience, and I'm a poor learner apparently. I'm not a good student, I guess, but anyway, it is what it is. I mean, I can't afford to pay somebody to do this, so I got to figure it out one way or the other. I'm sure if any of my people that watch my videos that are actual welders are probably just like, oh my God, this guy, you know. But hey, I mean, you got to learn somehow. I mean, I'm never going to get good at it if I don't keep doing it. So, I mean, I've done 3 different sections on this, and each time I've got a little better, and then I'm really happy with how this one turned out. So I think I've learned a few little tricks that, you know, make it easier. So, I mean, that's kind of what it's all about, you know, trying to figure this stuff out and learn how to do it and learn a new skill. So, you know, I'm definitely not an expert. Doubt I will ever be an expert, but, you know, I do feel good about doing it now. I mean, I would definitely, you know, do some things different if I were to start on another one. But yeah, by the time I got to this one, I think I've got figured out how I need it. It may not be the right way for everybody, but I figured out the way I need to do it to where I can make it okay. You know, that first one over there was horrible. That one's horrible, but not as horrible as that one. That one's you know, but this one, I'm really happy with this one. I think it's going to turn out really good. So I do think I'm done for the night, though. I don't know if that's the end of this video yet, but I'm done for the night. It's late. I'm wore out. I'm sick of welding. I'm sick of cutting. So I think that's where I'm going to stop for tonight. I do want to kind of touch on something, though. We talked at the beginning of the video about that other guy's GTO pole barn garage. You know, the name of his car is the Holy Goat, which fits that car perfect. And I am horrible at picking project names. Like, none of my cars are named, you know. I mean, I call this one just the gray car. I call that one the black car. We've been calling this one the red car, even though it's really not got a lot of red on it. So, help me think of a name. Y'all comment. Tell me what you think I should call this project. I mean, if you're new to the channel and don't know the story, this car was out in the woods for God knows how long. I'm going to say at least 25, maybe 30 years. It had been on fire. It had an underdash fire, engine fire. As you can see from the hood, you can tell it was burnt, and like, you know, everything inside was melted. So I don't know. I can't. I'm just not good at that. I'm not good at picking names for cars. So my daughter names every car she owns, and I can't come up. You know, I see all these guys on YouTube that come up with these cool names for their projects, and I'm just not good at it. So, but anyway, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not gonna do anything else tonight, but I may get back at her tomorrow and do a little bit, and then that'll probably wrap this video up then. But hopefully we'll see you in the morning. think I've got all my patches in. This side definitely turned out way better. I did have a little spot right here where it's still a little rotten, so I'm gonna cut a square out and put in there too, but I'll do that when I go in and finish welding, because I got several spots over there I'm gonna have to add, you know, metal to over there, and on that side. This side I'm really happy with, but I'll have to take the column and the pedal assembly out to get to that up there in the top anyway, and then once we get it all, you know, finish welded and everything, I'm gonna go in and coat all this anyway. But I do feel good about getting all this at least tacked in there. I'm really disappointed on how that side over there turned out, but it is what it is, you know. Just like I said, I'm not a professional welder, so I'm just kind of learning as I go, but I do think I've gotten a little better. You know, this side still ain't great, but it's way better than that side over there. So, but anyway, I think that's where I'm gonna end this video. Again, as always, I appreciate everybody watching, and hopefully in the next video on that car we'll be tackling the floor pan, or the trunk pan maybe, or something. Who knows? You can't never tell with me. But anyway, go work on your junk, and we'll catch you on the next one.